Hello, Kathleen. Thanks very much for coming in to talk to us today. I know a lot of my listeners and our listeners are interested in business automation because it's a buzzword we're hearing all the time. So tell me more. What's your understanding of business automation?
Hi, Peter. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Business automation is a way of taking complex business tasks and simplifying them. So, and with the use of software applications. So it's basically to take redundant, repetitive, time-consuming, often labor-intensive tasks and streamlining them and so that they can be automated through the use of a software application. That's what it is in a nutshell. There's a lot of advantages for businesses to do that in terms of cost savings, reallocating their team's resources and talent to focus on critical key areas of the company instead of these repetitive tasks.
Okay, so it covers a lot of stuff then. I'm trying to think of an example. You know, most of my time is spent reading and writing and talking to people like yourself. So I don't get into a lot of systems myself, but I got to think. I was in our local Walmart the other day and there was long lines of people at the checkout. So I used one of those automatic checkouts, first time in my life, and supervisor helped me, but I managed it even at my age. So is that a system of business automation?
It is one example of that, Peter. Yes, of course. You know, what you do is you go up to the self-checkout on your own now, and people are becoming more and more comfortable with it. Of course, there are always those people that are afraid, they're intimidated by it because they don't understand how it works. And so you see them lined up to reach a cashier. But people are becoming more comfortable, and I guess that's the key, is becoming comfortable with a new normal. And once they do that, you now see them going straight to those self-checkouts, and that's generally the same for all business automation. It's getting used to a new application, of new way of doing things. But once you get the hang of it, you realize that you wondered what you did without it.
Okay, that is interesting. So that's pleasing to hear that within businesses people get used to it as well and adopt it and enjoy it. So that leads me on to the next one. What type of systems would you say are good, and what will be the systems that go over to automated early? Or yeah. No, that was not very well put. Let me rephrase that. Is there certain areas in business that you would see becoming automated more quickly than others? That's what I'm trying to ask you.
Well, we're seeing this more and more in the manufacturing and supply chain areas. We're seeing it in offices where people are using software applications for emails coming in and triaging emails to send to the correct person for handling. And it just goes to almost every aspect of business processes nowadays. So, I mean, even in medical, I mean, you're now having surgeons using business automation to perform very serious, very precise surgeries. So it's in all facets, really.
Interesting. And we've got very little time left, but a quick one I wanted to ask you. I guess there might be resistance from workers, employees, thinking they're going to be made redundant, but you sort of touched on that right at the beginning. Have you got anything to say that would reassure people who are working in industries that are becoming automated?
For the most part, Peter, believe it or not, it's not about getting rid of an employee. It's really about reallocating that employee's talents to better utilize what they're capable of doing. And in fact, a lot of these employees are appreciative of not having to do those manual tasks that were tedious and quite often boring. So it's more and more employers are now jumping on board and just seeing the benefits of automating and then taking those employees and redeploying them someplace else.
Wow. Okay. Well, that would be reassuring for a lot of people who, especially my generation, who didn't grow up with computers. And as soon as we hear of automation, lot of people my age get all concerned about the future of their jobs. Thanks, Kathleen.
Thank you.
I believe you're coming back to talk to us next week about some robotics and artificial intelligence. So we look forward to our next session. Thanks, Kathleen.
I look forward to it too. Thank you, Peter.
Bye then.